Why would I make them so uncomfortable?
It probably has to do with your reputation. They feel your methods, your theories are...
Spooky? Do you think I'm spooky?
His face was so blank and expressionless. He didn't even seem human.
I'm not turning my back on anyone!
Have you ever found a metal implant in your body? Have you checked everywhere?
Mulder, you have to understand!
Put it down!
You put it down first!
Scully!
Free episode!
Free episode!
Hey! Hi, everybody!
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Fox Mulder is a Maniac.
Woo!
I am one of your hosts, David Bell.
I am a second in number of your hosts, Tom Ryman.
And again, this is a free episode, so welcome to all.
You lucky
welcome
ducks!
To all, you lucky ducks. This is a series where we've been going through the X-Files and sort of exploring it through the lens of Agent Mulder's behavior. And it's just a very different show when you realize how incredibly out of control Mulder is. We normally have this as a Patreon exclusive, so if you go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, you can get the rest of the episodes for just $5 a month. If you want to.
Yeah.
You know, it's a free country.
Yeah, it's a free country, like this is a free episode, but
yeah.
Boy, we have so many. We're already on season 6, episode 22, so just do that math. That's how many episodes await you if you decide to join the Patreon.
It's a lot.
It's a whole lot of episodes. That's just of this show. We got other shows too. But anyway, on to this show.
On to this show. Yeah, as you said, episode 22 of season 6. That means it is the season finale of season 6. We're really getting up there. This is Biogenesis, an episode that I feel like most people, when you know classic X-Files, you don't know as far as Biogenesis, right? This is a Mythology episode, but we've already resolved the shadow government, the syndicate storyline. So this episode is really strange in a lot of ways. So it's funny you should bring that up, because I'm holding the end and the beginning, the official guide to the X-Files. And according to producer Frank Spotnitz, a lot of the major ideas in this episode are ones that Chris and I have been talking about for 2 or 3 years now. And so it actually became easier to visit these ideas once we cleared away the conspiracy. So it was specifically something that they were like, we've been wanting to do something on the great extinctions and the theory of aliens sparking life on our planet.
Yeah, it has a specific name that Scully says at some point in the episode that I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. It's a funny name.
Yeah. Anyway.
Panspermia. That's why it's a funny name.
That is very funny.
Because it's got sperm in it.
Yeah. And like the aliens just fucking shooting ropes at us from space.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Just webbing up the earth.
This is why I think this is where people were checking out of the X-Files, including David Duchovny.
Yeah.
And so we had solved the conspiracy stuff. Solved, but not concluded. Like, there's still the matter of the aliens themselves. Also, Mulder's sister is still a issue.
Mm-hmm. Still
at large. But they were definitely shifting gears here.
In a way that's not good. This is a deeply unsatisfying episode in terms of like providing mystery and like additional wrinkles to the mythology of the X-Files. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right. I've always remembered the ending of this, of her finding the ship.
The spaceship, yeah.
Yeah, it's always funny to me because it's like she's like looking at this small thing, and
right,
then, like,
and there's like a clearly visible spaceship in like a tidal pool right in front of her.
It's very funny.
I understand it because they wanted the tension and then they wanted that last image to be the final shot of the season, but it's like, guys, it doesn't make fucking sense. And that's kind of like the big problem with this episode is that it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it also just like not much happens.
Yeah.
That final shot, by the way, I think I have it written down. It cost them $150,000.
Sure. I mean, it's one of the most popular shows on television. I'm sure they could afford it at the time.
Yeah, 25 straight hours of high-speed computer time, which is how it's written in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we name the book that you're reading from? I forgot if we did or not. I think
so. The End and the Beginning, the official guide to the X-Files.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, Dave, I have COVID. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's more than fair.
Yeah.
This was okay. So here's also part of the issue. Several people were distracted during this. Chris Carter was working on the pilot for Harsh Realm, which of course worked out great for him, while he was writing this. So he was faxing them.
Harsh Realm.
Let's do a Harsh Realm.
Yes,
podcast.
Let's do a Harsh Realm podcast, and we got to do a Millennium one too.
How many episodes are there?
Yeah,
why not? And let's do Strange Luck, even though it's not associated.
Of course, please, yes, all of them.
Yeah, Luckcast.
Look at Luckcast.
So he was faxing the pages to the production staff the whole time, one by one. Also, David Duchovny he was about to have a kid, his first child, so he was also distracted. And so, no one seemed. The only person on the ball apparently was Gillian Anderson.
It's a real Scully heavy episode too.
It is. It even begins with her
narration
monologue,
monologuing on some shit that Mulder would normally say. But actually, the monologue isn't bad.
It's not bad.
The monologue's not bad.
Here's the thing that I do think works. As Chris Carter says, there would be a scientific basis for the search for extraterrestrials if there was proof that they in fact started life on this Earth. And he's saying, which plays perfectly into Scully's scientific bias and Mulder's willingness to believe the supernatural. So the idea is that there's now science and supernatural merged with this theory that would then appeal to both of them.
That was kind of always the allure of Aliens, right? Because they're both scientific and supernatural.
Yes. It's things appearing supernatural that are in fact scientific. That's what an alien would be. They filmed this not in the Ivory Coast, Tom, but Los Angeles, north of Malibu.
Sure, of course,
at a beach. Yeah,
just a beach in fucking Malibu.
Yeah, they had to be careful. It was Leo Carlo. I'm butchering that. State Beach, which I guess I don't know. They had to be careful. They could only shoot for let's see here. I think it said 20 minutes a day or half hour a day or something like that because of the 47 minutes per day because of the tide. They had floating green screens. They had to not drill or attach anything in any, permanent way for obvious reasons. They also apparently they got the Navajo stuff a little better this time because if you remember, this is the return of Albert.
Yeah. Who doesn't have any lines. He just lays there.
He just lays there. In season 3, they said they found, after the fact, they had inaccuracies with the Navajo ceremony. So this time they hired more Native American advisors and so on to make sure the text and the ceremonies were more accurate. That's cool that they gave a shit.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. The episode, remember the episode with the golem? Where they just made up the Hebrew on the walls.
They sure did. Oh God.
Because they were fuck it. They also shot in UCLA, which apparently was really hard to do. They had to meet with the chairman of the department they wanted to shoot in, who immediately just said, "Why on earth should we do this?" They were able to give him an effective answer. With the answer being, we will give $20,000 to you. And they used it to pay for the education of a graduate student.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
There's a graduate student out there whose education was paid for by the X-Files.
Paid for specifically by this episode of the X-Files. Now, that immediately made me think of the Arrested Development gag where it was George Sr. found a loophole in the Mexican legal system. I have money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, they don't call it. They call it. It's a made up universe. It's like America University or something. It's a made up college because obviously the plot involves a senior staff member of the college murdering someone.
Right. So they didn't name it.
They didn't want to make it like a real university.
I said ACLU, UCLA. What is the final thing? Also, David Duchovny, his child was born 2 days after the shoot. They were all anticipating and planning for it. I think that's why Mulder's not in this much. They were all planning around David
him
Duchovny
having
is
to
gonna,
leave. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And the child was nice enough to get born after the shoot. So that's cool of the kid.
Yeah. Way to go, kid.
Yeah. Good job.
Man, what's that kid doing now?
So, what's that?
I said, what's that kid doing now? I keep forgetting that David Duchovny is running around with children. Giving advice to children. Dispensing fatherly wisdom to children.
Yeah.
Who are adults now. They're adults now, but sure.
Yeah. This feels like we talked about the last episode, which you'll have to see on our Patreon field trip, where they bring back the slideshow. This feels like it was built to be an old school episode.
Mm-hmm.
We have the return of Chuck, who is the expert in anything. Creepy Chuck.
Yeah, who
I'm surprised hasn't been arrested yet.
I had to look it back up to see what episode, because I had remembered him, but I couldn't remember the last time we'd seen him.
Yeah, it'd been a minute. Was he the fire expert as well? He seems like whenever they just need a guy be an expert, it's Chuck.
I think he was the fire expert, and he was also, oh man, he's the guy they brought in. I'm forgetting what exactly the episode was now, but like about the plane crash. Do you remember where it was like
wasn't he also the sound expert?
I think,
where he talks about how everything has a sound, and he says Mulder's pouring tapes on pause.
I think,
and probably the plane crash. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I think he's just Chuck. He can do everything.
Right, and then Scully's just like, yeah, I took the liberty of calling this fucking amoeba because I knew you were going to call him anyway.
Yeah,
and he comes shambling in there, and then we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. I just wanted, there's checking for bugs in the office, which is very classic X-Files, and beginning monologue is pretty classic X-Files.
Yeah, they haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah, so it really feels like they're trying to get back into the mythology stuff, the alien stuff.
Sort of how it started. Like it would the episodes would, that the paranoia about the shadow government, long stretches of Mulder's narration. Each episode also used to end or frequently end with a narration of Scully's report, like her findings on it, and Mulder's report too, alternately. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying for sure.
This is also the return of Diana Fowley and more notably Krycek.
Fucking Krycek.
Krycek is back, baby.
Yeah, he is. Slinging a VHS tape with his fake arm.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. He's if you people don't remember, he has control over Skinner because there is a nanobots.
Yeah.
Man, this show has gotten away from them.
Yeah.
There are nanobots in Skinner's blood.
Yes,
that Krycek can trigger at any time and kill Skinner.
Yep.
So Skinner has to do his dirty work for him. I think part of this was they also wanted to reset the days when Skinner was not to be trusted.
Yes.
What's funny is that I think this all gets concluded fairly soon because season 7 is just a shit show. And like there's the episode where like Skinner's, like taking a bubble bath and he's like, everything's fun. Like I don't think Skinner remains in this position for much longer.
The show doesn't retain this tone.
No, it doesn't.
The show gets like this is a clear effort to kind of hit the reset button and get it back to what the show was at the beginning. But yeah, like you just said, next season goes so far afield.
It really does. And I think it had to do with maybe Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny were getting less interested, renegotiating, or like they were starting to realize like, oh, maybe we need to wind down and not try to reset everything. We're 7 seasons in. How long do we intend on this to go?
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I thought they had figured out that Diana Fowley was bad, but I guess not.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions here. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But first we have to talk about World's Luckiest Detective.
Sure, let's do that.
So Mulder gets superpowers in this. And
he sure does.
And that's mainly what he uses to solve things. He gets psychic powers that a rock tells him like where the body is. that he finds.
It's not even the rock itself; it's a rubbing of the rock.
A rubbing of the rock, yeah.
Did we explain what this was about?
Jesus. Okay, so
we didn't. We totally didn't.
On the Ivory Coast, they find this mysterious rock that has like magnetic and magic powers. This professor,
it's like a fraction of a tablet, is what it is.
Yeah, he brings it to America, where he wants to show another professor who turns out to be not who he says he is, and he murders him, and he tries to frame the original professor that he's was looking for. So Mulder and Scully are investigating the murder, and then they find a rubbing of this rock, which starts fucking with Mulder's brain.
Yeah,
he gets like horrible headaches, and he's scrabbing his head, and he seems to get superpowers where he can figure out where things are.
He's like psychic now, but not really, because it's like the tablet is telling him these things.
Yeah, including where the body is, which is just in the trash can. And like, I love that the landlord is like, the cops already looked around. What are you going to find? And it's like, well, apparently they didn't look around good enough.
They didn't look in the trash can?
Yeah, like that's where people throw evidence away, one would assume.
Also, the powerful scent of a dismembered corpse in your kitchen garbage can.
Yeah, what kind of half-assed police came to investigate? But whatever. And so he just keeps learning things through psychic powers, including that there's someone else on the case.
It's one of the worst writing devices. They just have this drawing of a tablet tell Mulder the answers he needs in any given situation.
Yeah, it's very bad.
He doesn't do any investigating.
Yep. Another luckiness is that the guy that they are looking for just happens to know Albert, the Native American character that helped them out with. Like, I love that this one old Native American guy just keeps getting alien shit thrown his way.
He's like entrenched in it.
Yeah, but he's entrenched in it, but he's on the side. No one is messing with him.
Yeah,
he's just like I like to think he, like the cigarette smoking man, goes out with with him for beers and stuff too.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like, he's just like kind of on the side, and he doesn't have any like anything invested in it. So small fucking world. They're like, oh, we know that guy. So more luck. Albert has cancer and is in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so Scully goes to see him, and another luck is the guy she's looking for is just standing in the hospital like an asshole.
Yep. He fled for fear of his life because the person he was supposed to meet with to give him another piece of this tablet was beaten to death by one of his colleagues at the university, but is just standing in the hospital stairwell like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Krycek is clearly on it as well, and he's using Skinner to find out more. Mulder gets taken out of the picture. Mulder gets committed, which we'll get to.
Yep.
And so because
his psychic powers prove to be too much for his brain to handle.
Yes. So Scully goes to the Ivory Coast to where the artifact was found in the first place. And the cliffhanger is she finds a crashed alien ship there.
Right the fuck there.
Yeah. That's more or less the episode. And again, the luckiness I think we've already highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else with that?
No, nothing that comes to mind. I think you covered it.
Yeah. Overall, getting sudden psychic powers that tells you where everything is, pretty lucky.
Pretty goddamn lucky.
Pretty convenient. Yeah.
Pretty dang lucky.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we get to our big main event?
Yeah. It's time to clutch your temples. Squint at your boss. And shout that the voices in your head are telling you that he's lying to you.
Yep.
Because it's time for Mulder After Dark.
Ooh, baby.
How many times has Mulder clutched his ears and run out of the room with a supposed piece of UFO evidence?
Too many, probably.
Yeah. How many times has somebody shown him something that he has no reason to believe? Like, there's no evidence that it actually came from a spacecraft. But how many times has somebody whipped out like a supposed moon rock and Mulder's going like, my ears, and just run out of the room? The aliens are speaking to me, Scully. Like, what if he just has a tumor?
Right. Well, here's the thing. Mulder's just getting brain problems.
Yeah.
And it's like ringing in his ears and headache.
He's losing hearing. Like he's not hearing things.
He doesn't tell anyone.
No.
And then in the goddamn elevator, or I think it's the elevator, wherever Scully's
it's the
talking
elevator.
to him,
Yeah, it's the first time it
and
happens.
she says like, do you get me or whatever? And he's like, no, I couldn't hear it.
No, she just simply asks, did you hear anything I said? And he's like, no, I couldn't hear it. And then he just leaves.
Yes, because he doesn't specify, because she takes it as he doesn't want to hear it. And like Mulder has to be like, no, Scully, I literally couldn't hear it. I think I might be having a stroke. We have to take me to the hospital. Like, he doesn't do that.
No.
He just brushes it off.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, maybe I have a tumor. I need to know. And then Scully also, it takes a while.
Right, because
like,
this
finally, after the third time, she's like, maybe we should get you like a CAT scan.
Right, because that suggests that this is all just normal behavior for Mulder.
Yes.
To zone out completely, not hear things, clutch his temples and tell people that he's receiving transmissions that are telling him the truth. None of this on its own is alarming enough because he does this with some kind of regularity.
It's the only logical conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, he says to Scully, after they talk with Skinner, I think, he says to Scully, I'm hearing people. He's spying on us. Scully replies with, maybe you should go home. And again, he's hearing people. She needs to bring him to the hospital. But no.
He's hearing people telling him that their boss is spying on them.
Yeah.
He's having a paranoid delusion.
Yes, which in the past he was dosed once.
Yeah.
He's been, it's a long line of things that has happened. Like, honestly, with the last episode, you think Mulder would be like, I think maybe, are we still in the fucking mushroom?
Yeah, right.
Like, did we still get trapped in a spore?
That's gonna color every episode we go over from now on. Yeah. It's like maybe they're still stuck inside a giant mushroom.
Yeah, the last episode, folks, was about Mulder and Scully getting sucked into a mushroom that feeds them a fantasy while it digests them. And the brain problems in this episode very much resemble like reality breaking in the spore.
Yeah.
Like, and so you'd think Mulder would be like, oh, fuck. I'm being eaten even more right now. Or at least be a little bit concerned. This mushroom's still chewing on my skull. Yeah. Yeah, it's seeping into the brain now. That's why I'm getting headaches. But Mulder, again, just lets it go. There's so many reasons for Mulder to be concerned that he's hearing voices and high-pitched sounds. And it's like a day before he starts getting concerned enough to tell Scully. And then it feels like it takes another day for Scully to say, maybe we need to bring you to the hospital.
Right, and he doesn't go to the hospital until he collapses in a stairwell.
Yeah, and even then, he doesn't go to a hospital. No, he
doesn't go to a hospital. He goes home because what happens is he collapses in a stairwell and fucking Krycek finds him.
Yeah.
That's who intervenes on Mulder's behalf.
Yeah. It's never good when Krycek's like, whoa, you don't look so good, Mulder.
Yeah, we should get you home.
Yeah. Well, like Krycek is like we're all having fun doing the conspiracy stuff, but you are fucked up, man.
Yeah, you need to go. You need to take a minute, man.
No, first Mulder does a classic Mulder by breaking into a man's office and searching through his stuff.
Before that, they go to Skinner and tell him the evidence they have that like there's radiation coming from the artifact, so they seem to be somewhat genuine. And Mulder gives him his theory that the head of the department is the actual murderer who is trying to frame this other professor, which is a pretty bold accusation to make.
Right.
But they give enough evidence to the point where Scully's like, we have enough here for an arrest. And then Mulder says, forget the arrest. We need to get that artifact. But it's like the first thing he does after that is he breaks into this dude's office at the university to look for the artifact. It's like, Mulder, if you had enough to arrest this person, you could have just arrested him and then searched his office and his house for the artifact. Like, what are you doing?
He's like hiding from him while he's doing it. Like the guy comes in and Mulder has to hide. And it's like, you're the FBI. You
have enough to arrest him.
Yeah.
We've been over this.
Why are you sneaking around?
Yeah, you don't have to break in.
Yeah, you're not one of the kids from Stranger Things.
But he just really wants to. He really wants to be a Hardy Boy all the time.
He really does. All the time.
Like he flat out said, forget the arrest, and then goes and breaks into this guy's office anyway.
Yeah. And then he's lurking around this high school. Well, it's a college, I guess.
Lurching through this college, just stoned out of his mind on alien brain beams.
Like he's fucking Nosferatu,
just staggering through co-eds who are like, I think we need to call campus police.
Yeah, there's something really unnerving about seeing Mulder that close to college kids.
Yeah, lurching
on his
around,
own, untethered. Yeah. And then he just passes out on the steps like an asshole.
Yep.
Again, he could have arrested them.
Yep.
He could have brought other people, other agents, and done like it. Because again, we need to find that artifact. I guess he's paranoid and he doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
But like he could certainly bring Scully and again arrest him and interrogate him. All other possibilities. I forgot the radiation. Mulder, maybe the radiation is getting to you. Maybe there's something there. There's so many reasons to go to the hospital. But instead, he passes out. Krycek finds him and is like, well, shit, I better get you home. And then Diana Fowley.
Yeah.
Scully calls his apartment and she picks up.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I have some questions here. She picks up, gives it to Mulder. Mulder's in bed. And then she reassures Scully, hangs up, and calls Krycek, right? And
we don't know who she called. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to stay here with him. And then she takes off her top and enters Mulder's bedroom. And so is she fuck healing him?
I guess.
What's happening there?
I guess.
They never go, did he call her and he'd be like, I need the sex healing, please come?
She says he called her, but we can't trust her. So we don't actually, we end the episode not actually knowing entirely what happened there. But yeah, the fact that she takes her shirt off and goes into the bedroom and then it just goes to the next scene is totally mystifying. Yeah.
So instead of going to the hospital, Mulder went home and had a fling.
Yeah.
While he's dying or losing his mind from this rock.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
He just called one of his old fuck buddies to come over.
Yeah. He passed out in a college and was like, that made me horny. You know what makes me horny? Passing out in a college stairwell.
Soaked in radiation.
Soaked in radiation.
And they tell him it's a specific kind of radiation that comes from beyond our solar system. So he's cloaked in cosmic radiation, like the fucking Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he's becoming the Human Torch. Holy shit.
Just collapsing in this stairwell.
What an asshole.
Just waves of cosmic fucking rays pulsating out of him.
We've talked about this because he once smuggled an alien artifact onto a
commercial airliner. Yeah,
an artifact that was unstable and explodey. But it was essentially a bomb
that had brought a plane down previously. Well, as far as they knew, it was actually the aliens that crashed it. But yes, as far as they knew, this thing had brought a plane down before.
Yeah, so he brought it on a commercial flight with men, women, and children on it. And my fucking God. What I was getting at is Mulder is riddled with radiation.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. His bones are perforated at this point.
Yeah. He has been exposed to so much. Just the aliens alone, just every beam that's been projected on him.
Yeah.
But, oh my, or not even the aliens, just the sewers and weird power plants he's crawled through.
All the staph infections he's been splashing around with, all that ectoplasm he's been in close contact with.
He ran through that nuclear power plant at one point. With the alien, remember the alien in the nuclear power plant?
I do. Yeah, that was feeding off of the cooling rods. Yeah.
Yeah, he's covered.
His teeth are gotta be falling out by now.
Yeah.
And
now yeah.
His
Now
gums just bleed regularly.
Yeah. He just thinks that's what gums do.
Yeah. You know, when you wake up some morning, Scully, when you got the bloody gums. No, Mulder,
Yeah.
I don't. Most people don't experience that.
That's what it is this piercing headache is just like, yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, sometimes the people in your head tell you that your boss is spying on you. Mulder, that's not a thing that is normally supposed to happen.
Oh.
I think you need a CAT scan.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he's just... Now he has cosmic radiation. You can add that to the mix.
He's fucking Adam Warlock, just walking
Jesus
around.
fucking Christ! And this woman is having sex with him. Don't have sex
I guess
with him.
we
What
don't
is
know
happening?
entirely what's happening.
Whatever she was gonna do with Mulder required the removal of her shirt.
Yes.
Either because she didn't want to get her shirt messy, or she was doing sex stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, I assume something's coming out of Mulder.
Mm-hmm.
Like some sort of fluids are coming out of Mulder.
Some panspermination or whatever they called it.
Yeah. That they never explain it, and they really should have.
Maybe that's coming in the next season premiere.
Right.
Because it just does end with a cliffhanger with many unanswered questions.
So many unanswered questions. But I'm really curious. Like, where are they fucking? What is Mulder has? He has. I don't want to say a type. His type is unstable and slightly sadistic.
Yeah.
Like we have Phoebe, who pegged him on Edgar Allan,
Arthur Conan
Doyle's grave.
Yeah.
The pegging is theoretical.
Yeah.
But they definitely had sex.
They definitely fucked in a graveyard next to Arthur Conan Doyle's tombstone.
Yeah, whose
Mulder
flirting was like
undeniably wearing the deerstalker hat when it happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no
That is a
question.
fact.
No question.
That's canon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is canon.
who like flirts with him by faking a bomb threat.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the vampire lady who
was a vampire lady.
Yeah, who was a vampire lady who like shaved him and died in a fire.
And then became clouds like Mufasa.
Yes. I'm trying to think of his other romantic interests. There was the cop lady in Syzygy, but like that was because of planetary alignment more than attraction.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Mulder's drunk. Everybody's that doesn't count, I don't think. Everybody's sort of under the influence. There's of course Scully, but we haven't fully gotten to that yet. And now there's Diana Fowley, and they're all just like, yeah, they're all kind of sadistic, and they all seem very bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's his type. I mean, Scully's no better. So far for Scully, it's been several murderers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, in their taste.
Yeah.
They both really need to work some stuff out.
Yeah. Scully's last romantic fling was fucking John Hawkes, the clear serial killer.
Yeah, tearing his heart out or whatever. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stalking her into a church.
In a lot of ways, when Mulder and Scully finally get together, it's kind of like the best answer because it keeps them out of trouble romantically.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's the safest choice for them both.
Yeah, it keeps Mulder from having irradiated sex with a woman who, after being dragged from a stairwell,
nuclear space sex.
Yeah, and so we haven't gotten to the point where this ends with Mulder in a padded cell, just pacing around and screaming. And like it was always going to end this way. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either face down in a field,
yeah,
or screaming in a padded room. Yeah,
it was one or the other, or autoerotic asphyxiation, as predicted. But yeah, so basically, he gets brought to the hospital. I assume by Diana.
I think so. Yeah, they don't complete. I don't think they completely answer it, but like,
Scully's there and she's there too.
Yeah. She sort of gets, like, Skinner doesn't tell her the extent of what's going on with Mulder, and she gets there and sort of both Skinner and Fowley are being fishy as hell. So she's like, fuck you both.
Yeah. But it takes Diana to do what Scully and Mulder and no one else did, which is finally go, we have to bring you somewhere.
Yeah, we need to take you someplace. Because at least, like, there are actual doctors here. Like, this is a real hospital.
Yeah.
It's not where we put Tony Shalhoub.
Exactly. There's got to be. I'm curious of what happened between the apartment and this. Like, she probably had to tase him or something. Like, how did you get a Mulder?
He's like tied up in his bed sheets.
Yeah. Maybe that was it. She was going to do like sex stuff and tied him up and then was like, okay, now that you're tied up, I'm bringing you to the hospital because you really need to go to the hospital.
Yeah. It's tied him to a handcart with belts.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
wheeled
so
him to the hospital
around.
like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. He's screaming directly at the security camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mulder that, yeah, again, we all sort of knew was coming, which is he's just a raving maniac. He's just out of control completely.
And we don't really know what's going on with him at this point. Like the last time we checked in with Mulder, he's getting these piercing transmissions in his brain. So I guess they've just continued to get worse.
Yeah, I think the implication is like his little human brain just doesn't have the capacity for what's being beamed into it. And so like it's driving him out of his mind. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And now he's just raving and shitting in the corner and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was always going to end this way.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for Mulder After Dark.
Yeah, no, I didn't have anything else, but that was quite a bit of ground to cover.
Quite a bit. Let's talk about fireable offenses. I mean, he breaks into an office.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, several
after
people need to.
He refuses to arrest someone so that he can break into his office.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not great.
Yeah, but this is one where a lot of people should be fired because Mulder said to his boss in his office, "You're a liar. I can hear people talking.
Yeah,
you're spying on us." Scully has seen him grip his head in pain many times. Everybody across the board needs to be fired here because they just let him out into the world after all that. Like for all we know, he was going to kill and eat that guy in his office. Like, you don't know what Mulder's going to do. Luckily, he collapsed in a stairwell. But he could have tried to climb a bus. You know, like there's so many things Mulder could have done in that condition.
Yeah.
So
because we've seen what he's done when he's not in that condition.
Yeah. He has a gun.
Yeah.
And his boss...
let's just flashback to Paper Hearts. He boosted a known murderer from prison.
Yeah.
And fell asleep so the guy escaped. And that was when he wasn't getting alien transmissions beamed into his skull.
Exactly. Like, they just let him continue on. And it's like there's so many things that could have happened. He could have shot one of those random students.
Yeah.
He's wandering around a fucking college with a gun. And he's losing his mind, and no one is getting involved. So yeah, Scully fired, Skinner fired,
yeah.
Mulder fired.
Yeah.
Lawsuits.
At the very least, Mulder's fired.
Yeah, at the very least,
Mulder's going to be under observation for a while.
Right. There's no coming back from this. You can't have video of you screaming in a padded cell and then return to your job as an FBI agent.
Yeah.
You just can't. Or rather, you shouldn't. So yeah, a lot of fireable offenses, I think, in this one.
Yeah, all around. Pink slips all around.
Yeah, it's one big fireable offense.
Yeah.
Let's name the enabler.
It's Skinner.
It is Skinner.
Yeah.
I love this began basically with... So a guy was murdered, and the only thing about this that's in X-Files is that he was studying panspermia.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He was studying alien stuff. So Skinner brings it to him, and he's like, "Mulder, you like alien stuff. Here, this guy died. Who's into aliens.
This murder made me think of you."
Yeah. Mulder's like, "Is it aliens?" Like, no, but like the guy was into aliens, so
they were murdered. Maybe a supposed alien artifact might have had something to do with it. Anyway, off you go.
Off you go. Have fun.
But yeah, he's enabling Mulder because he's being forced to by Krycek because he wants to track down all the pieces of this tablet.
Yes.
So
in a lot of ways, Scully is the bigger enabler because Mulder's grabbing his head.
She's just ignoring his behavior.
Yeah.
As a matter of course.
Right. Which again, implies that Mulder just does this shit all the time.
From time to time.
And so it's just like, ignore him. He does this. He'll calm down.
He's in one of his moods.
Attention.
Yeah, just don't pay attention to him. He'll tire himself out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that brings us to our final one, Crazy Like a Fox.
Oh, folks, this is the part of the episode where we assign a numerical rating from 1 to 10 to grade Mulder's behavior in the episode. 1 being fairly reasonable, professional, collected, dependable, reliable, trustworthy. 10 being the opposite of all of those things. Stumbling through a college, breaking into a professor's office, screaming in a padded cell about how the people you can hear in your skull telling you that your boss is a liar.
Yeah, I mean, he is in a padded cell in this episode.
It's got to be a 10, right?
I think it has to be. I think by default, if he has been committed to a psychiatric hospital and is screaming, it doesn't even matter, like... So we've let Mulder off for, like, the Pusher episodes.
Right.
Where it's like someone is literally controlling
his mind, yeah.
And yes, technically an alien artifact is doing this, but boy, like it's not. Here's the thing: the alien artifact isn't changing his behavior.
Exactly, the alien's not. The artifact is not making him do anything. It's just telling him things.
Yeah,
and giving him a fucking bastard of a headache.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a 10. Yeah, this is a clear 10.
All the decisions he makes are 100% Mulder.
Yes. It's
just soaked with radiation.
It's just sopping with radiation. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a 10.
It's a 10.
This is a 10.
It's got to be a 10, I think.
We hit a 10.
It has to be a 10, yeah.
Yeah. So that means this is a 3-parter, by the way.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The Sixth Extinction is season 7, episode 1, and then the Sixth Extinction 2. And then we're going to get into some real juicy, weird shit here.
Ooh.
We're going to get into Hungry, the one that's from the point of view of the monster of the week.
That's a fun one.
Millennium, the one that's not going to make much sense.
Yeah, it's a crossover with Millennium.
Yeah, that's also their New Year's, their 2000 episode, technically. Although it didn't air. They had a few other episodes before they actually hit the year 2000. Rush, which is about Mulder and Scully dealing with not being young anymore. It's the teens, fast teens.
The
Goldberg Variation, which is, I believe, the Shia LaBeouf one. We're going to get the Amazing Malini, the one where they fight magicians.
Fucking magicians.
We're going to get Closure, which I believe is the one that closes out Mulder's sister's disappearance. We're going to get X-Cops, Tom, the X-Files Cops crossover, first-person shooter, the one that's considered to be the worst episode.
Yes.
Although I would argue there are worse ones out there. First-person shooter at least doesn't lightly advocate sexual assault. Remember, the what is that one called?
Oh, that was the
Postmodern Prometheus.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna get Hollywood AD, which is
making a movie based on the X-Files.
Yeah. That's the jumping the shark
written
right there.
And directed by David Duchovny.
Of course. Fight Club, which is the one where doppelgangers make people aggressive. There's a lot going on here. There's also some good ones. I think Thief is a pretty good one. I think we got, it's a mix. It's a real mix. Signs and Wonders is in there. That's the faith healing, I believe, one with snakes. I don't know if that's a good one. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I would argue X-Cops is actually quite fun. The villain is Pennywise.
I actually like X-Cops. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird episode, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's a cool villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think Goldberg Variation is okay too, from what I remember. I don't know. The Goldberg Variation is basically the show Strange Luck as an episode, which is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Point is, it's going to get pretty fucking wild.
I think this is regarded as the worst season, right?
Oh, I would say the one with Doggett would be the worst season. This is the season that leads into the point where they're like, you know what? We're going to get out of here. Mulder and Scully are like, yeah, you can fight. We're good.
Bring in some new agents. We're all set here.
But yeah, I think this is before the season where they disappear and then they come back for season 9. This is definitely when things fall apart. Like, I think what we're celebrating here with Biogenesis, the 6th extinction, and I think that's it, is the end of that era. Like, and we're right. This is like, it's already sort of ended. You know, it sort of ended with the X-Files movie, I would argue. But this is like, season 7 is when I think people have officially dropped off.
Yeah,
after season 7.
It hit its peak. We talked about it a little bit. The series hit its ratings peak in season 5.
Yeah.
Started to go down in season 6 a little bit, but then in season 7, I'm reading, it really drops. It goes from 12th in ratings to 29th.
Yeah, and that's when they started thinking, like, it might be time. To put this old dog down.
This old dog-it.
And yeah, season 8, we're going to figure out what we're going to do with season 8. I'm not entirely sure yet.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because there is still Mulder and Scully in there. I think we might have to do it in batches and chunks or something. It's also a new opening sequence that's terrible looking from what I remember.
We'll figure it out. Maybe it'll be John Doggett's a Maniac. Although
probably not,
because he's not, is the thing.
He's not. That's his whole
his
deal.
defining characteristic is that he is competent in all of the ways that Mulder is not.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so for the first couple, because Mulder and Scully are still more like they're kind of there for some of the beginning, and then they phase them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we will have to like skip through episodes, do them in batches. And then I believe then at the end of that season, they dump enough money at David Duchovny that Mulder starts coming back. And that's when we'll have to bring it back episode to episode.
I think it's part...
That's my guess.
It's part that, and it's part like the movies that David Duchovny did not pan out.
Yeah, they did not pan out. Should we do a special episode on playing God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody look forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Dave, why don't you tell them some stuff?
Oh, yeah, right. This is a free episode. So like I said at the top, you can get more episodes at our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. For $5 a month, you get access to this show, but also you get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, also Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys, which we do with the fellows at Small Beans as well. If you want to kick in a little more, we watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. There's all sorts of stuff on our Patreon, so you can go there. You can look.
Yeah. Browse around. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. So check that out.
Yes.
Woo!
And enjoy your Mulders.
Enjoy your Mulder. Keep his radiation-soaked heart locked within yours.
Yeah. Actually, don't do that because you'll also get the radiation. Because then you will
also get the That's true, yeah. It's best not to go anywhere near him, actually.
Artwork for Fox Mulder's A Maniac is produced by Starlene Hodge. Follow her on Twitter at StarleneX. That's Starlene with an X. Or check out her delightful webcomic at rubywhipple.com.